Serious.
Oh, God. Oh.
It's not even on diligent anyway.
No, it's just wanted me to even pass to get on. Oh, crap.
Right, thank you and welcome to the meeting of the Regulatory and Hearings Committee for Wednesday the 17th of May, and our start time is 3:31. The first item on the agenda is apologies, and we haven't heard from Councillor Reedy. He may be here. We'll just leave that at the moment. So somebody would like to move that there are no apologies. Councillor Basher. Seconded, Councillor Webb. Any discussion? Those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Item number 2 is members' interest. Does anybody want to declare any interest? This will be on the animal bylaw or the gambling policy. No members' interest to declare. Okay, somebody would like to move that we have no declarations. Councillor Weston, seconded Councillor Sampson. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. All right, item number 3 is confirmation of the previous minutes, and the minutes of the 15th of March 2023. First of all, anybody got any corrections to those minutes? No corrections. Somebody like to move that they're true and correct? Councillor Webb and Councillor Farlett seconds. Those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Item number 4 is the Gambling and Totaliser Agency Board Venue Policy, and it's a statement of proposal, and this is to go out for our public consultation. So any comments?
Sorry, Mr. Chair. This is just confirmation of what we talked about in the Community Services and Environment Committee. It's refined some of the options just a little bit further, but basically you're being presented, and we would like to present to the public 3 different scenarios, I guess, for each of these matters. One is the status quo, so we keep everything as it is at the moment, which is basically pretty open, pretty basic as considerations, and I think probably reflects also that we haven't had any applications for an awfully long time, and we haven't had any increases in the number of gaming machines that have been applied for, so this has sort of just been ticking along in the background. The second option is basically this whole scenario, like it's basically just to be a bit more detailed about some of the things like the number of venues, the number of machines, location of venues, and it's given so for example on page 21 you've got number of gambling machines allowed in the district, and as option B, which is this scenario we're talking about, set a cap or a limit. So rather than just have no limit, set a cap, and the way that we set that cap could be the national average, or it could just be what we have at the moment. And so that's just being a bit more specific with the number of venues. Again, it's putting a cap on it. With gambling location, it's, for example, saying that perhaps we need to be a little bit more specific around where we allow venues. And then the third option, if you like, the third scenario is a sinking lid. A number of councils have done that recently, in their reviews, they have proposed a sinking lid, which is basically no new venues, no new machines, and if somebody, say a venue is existing and they want to relocate, no relocation, you stay where you are, you get the same number of machines if you choose, or if circumstances prove that you need to relocate, then it's just a blanket no. Whereas the other option for that is if there are exceptional circumstances, such as the place burns down, or you're already in the wrong zone, then there would be an extenuating circumstances. So that's basically those three scenarios. And what would be really good today, if possible, would be for the committee to express a preference for one of those sort of scenarios, or you could do a combination of the options and scenarios, just so that the community has an idea of where you're thinking of heading. Obviously, if it's sinking lid, it's very, very obvious what that will do. But if it's one of the others, then it would be good for the community to know just a general feeling, if at all possible today. Thank you.
Could I please just clarify? I think I know the answer, but option 2, reducing the amount of machines, we can't actually reduce the amount of machines, is that right? You can't close some down,
No,
just wait for them to one more.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
The other comments? Yeah.
Do we have a feel for the, and I know this varies, and I think anecdotally I'm hearing that the pubs now don't necessarily get a great benefit out of owning the machines from a rent point of view. I think that, like initially in the old days, it used to be the thing, they'd host the machines and the rental for the site or whatever was kind of a pretty key bit of kind of almost passive income that they had. Is that still an issue? And if we were to not allow any transfer of the same number of machines to another site and things like that, is that limiting the option of, say, a new pub that wants to open and actually having 8 machines in the corner somewhere would kind of really help their viability, or not? Or is that a consideration we should or shouldn't be making? I guess that's...
Well, I guess that's in terms of what option you want to recommend. If you want to recommend, take out the option of non-transferable and the cap, if you like, then yeah, that's something that we could be looking at.
Are we consulting? So when you consult with the public, we're putting all the options out anyway, aren't we? You know,
Well,
so do we need to have a view so we get the view of the public?
Well, that's what we want to discuss. My personal view is that, and I think we heard a bit earlier today, is that sometimes people don't want a preferred option, that they want all the options on the table, then we hear from them and then we make a decision. And if that's the way we want to move forward on this, well, then I'm reasonably comfortable with that. How are people feeling? Yep, I'm seeing a lot of nods. Yep, Councillor Clark.
I personally feel that if we put out our preference and most of the community are in agreement with that, they just won't submit. So we won't actually get to hear their feedback.
Right. Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So you happy then that we move towards some of these recommendations here? So do you want to, we'll take them one by one. So the first one is notes that the Gambling Act 2003 requires councils to adopt a Class 4 gaming and board venue policy and to review this every 3 years. I think that's a given. So we've got a mover and a second. Deputy Mayor Basher, Councillor Sampson. Those in favour? Those against? That's carried. The second one is notes that the Racing Industry Act 2020 also requires territorial authorities to have a policy on TAB venues and to review this every 3 years. That's a given. Councillor Howard will move that. Councillor Webb will second. Those in favour? Aye. That's carried. And 3 is notes the various options set out in the attached draft statement of proposal regarding the number of machines in the district. and the number of venues in the district and the venue location and the number of gambling machines per venue and relocation of venues. So we're just noting that. Yep, so that's somebody like to move that we've noted that, Councillor Fowler. Seconded Deputy Mayor Basher. Those in favour? Right, carried. All unanimous, yeah. Adopts the statement of proposal with the following options. Number of gaming machines in the district, A, B or C. Number of venues is in the district A, B or C, and the venue location, both gambling venues and board, which is TAB venues at A, B or C, and the number of gambling machines per venue, A, B or C, and relocation of licences to other venues A, B and C. Somebody would like to move that they're all A, B and C? Councillor Weston. We've got a seconder. Councillor Fowler. Any discussion? Councillor Reading.
Just can I ask the Mayor, what was your comment before regarding the, I'm sorry, opening up, is that under any of the 1 to 5?
Yeah, well, it'll come back in the feedback if it's an issue or not. I don't know enough about the industry, but that used to be the case.
But your comment was, I thought appropriate, that was all.
Yeah.
And so I just wonder, if we're going to adopt these proposals here, do we need to add another proposal? Given what you asked for.
No, I think it'll be captured. It's about whether or not we were going to exclude that as an option. So we'll hear, this covers every eventuality, how I read it.
Yes.
So we'll hear from the community and presumably the venue operators if they want to put a submission in. And
so we're just not going out with a preference, we're going out with all the options and hearing back from the community before we make a decision. So we've got a mover and a seconder for those. Councillor Webb.
I was
Have we done that?
just going to vote.
Oh, okay, sorry. Getting my head behind myself. So those in favour? That's unanimous, none against. And 5 is instructs the Chief Executive Officer to proceed with public consultation as required under the Local Government Act 2002. And I'll move that way. We've got a seconder. Councillor Grafton. Those in favour? That's carried unanimously. Right, thank you for that. The next item is
before I forget,
item 5, keeping of animals.
just a point of order before you carry on. Just note Ned Telford is an apology that I should have raised. He had mailed me.
Okay, yep.
We noted there were none, so just make
Yep.
sure it is recorded as a.
Okay, so do you want to move that way?
Yes, please.
Councillor Reedy, or second, moved Mayor Klein, but Ned Telford is an apology. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Okay, back to number 5, which is the animal bylaw review. And we've got a revised statement of proposal. Do you want to just explain why we have to revise it?
Look, I can very quickly cover. We need to adopt a statement of proposal. We had one initially, as you know. There were some changes through subsequent meetings and deliberations. We made some alterations, which were clearly understood, but I think in terms of the process of the bylaw, we probably could have forged ahead on that basis, but we just think belts and braces when we're doing something like this to bring back a brand new statement of proposal, noting those changes and just set the groundwork nice and clear again to move forward to the next stage. That's why it's a paper coming back to you again, just to make it nice and clear.
And do you comment?
Mr. Chair, just basically because they were such sort of fundamental changes that were made, obviously a lot of people during the first round saw that, for example, if I live in Granity, I'm an urban area, therefore these things will apply to me. Now, if I live in Granity, the urban area provisions won't, and there was a significant number of those. We're now just looking at Westport, Carter's Beach and Refton. So those people need to have an opportunity to maybe come and make a second statement. And the one about the cats was significantly different, down to 2, which wasn't really the big issue, but we're adding those things that were raised during the submissions regarding White Richard being and de-sexing and registering. So those are again major changes if you are a cat owner and if you have an interest in cats. And so that again major, people might have new thoughts on that after having seen the original one.
Thank you. Any questions, Mayor Klein?
Just a quick one on the cats. Are these proposed changes applying to the whole district or are they just urban areas? So we're not differentiating between rural cats and urban cats?
Through the keeping of cats one is in relation to urban areas only.
Okay, thanks.
Councillor Reedy.
Thank you, Councillor. Just on page 40, when I first read this, I was confused because we had three cats on the current bylaw. When it says proposed bylaw is 4, which I remember we were discussing because that was at the time the national bylaws, if you like, most councils had 4. Question was, well, why are we having 4 or why are we increasing so everything back down to 2? So I'm just finding it confusing because we never, the proposed bylaw is actually 2 cats is what we're.
Well, this is the second proposal, if you like. So the one that we inherited from the previous council had 4 cats, and you'll recall we had the hearings and people came in and spoke on their submissions, and the general consensus from the hearing was 2 cats would be adequate, and then this committee decided that we would send out another proposal with 2 cats as being the maximum in urban areas.
So where did 3 come from?
The 3 was the original one that was in place before the first review. Yes.
We never had a bylaw that said 4 cats.
No, we had a bylaw that said 3, a proposal that said 4. Now we're going back to a second proposal for 2. Okay. Yeah. And you've heard that the reason why we need to go back and redo it is because the changes that we proposed to make after the hearing were quite substantial and they need reconsulting.
And the vast majority of submissions supported reducing the number of cats. After increasing it.
Yeah, but I guess what we're doing is giving the opportunity to those that never submitted the first time round because they were happy with 4 and now it's down to 2. So we'll expect to hear from a lot of those people. Okay, any other comments, discussions anybody got? So the recommendation is, one is that the council adopts the revised draft statement of proposal with changes in accordance with the resolution of the 15th of March 2023 Regulatory and Hearings Committee. And I'll move that way. We've got a seconder. Councillor Grafton, any further discussion? Those in favour? Aye, that's unanimous. And 2 is instructs the Chief Executive Officer to proceed with the public consultation as required under the Local Government Act 2002. We have a mover, Councillor Howard, Deputy Mayor Basher, seconded that. Those in favour? Aye, that's unanimous. Right, I believe that's the end of the meeting.
Great.
So there'll be no further business. I declare the meeting closed at, somebody got a time? 3:49. Whatever the time is, yeah. 3:45. Thank you. And the next meeting will be in 2 months' time, and that'll be announced. So thank you for your attendance.
Just a question, when will these proposed changes go out to the community?
Sorry?
Yeah.
When will they
As soon
consultate?
as we can get them out with our comms team, obviously the keeping of cats, the keeping of animals on the easier, we'll just go with what we had before. But the gambling one, the policy may take a little bit longer. We'd also like to make sure that we consult with groups that have an interest in this. So that may be maybe 3 to 4 weeks away.
At least.